What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Friday, July 17th, 2026. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very, very special guest that's on with me today. You might have seen her on the NFL Network for the past decade or so. Prior to that, she was with ESPN. She is a predictive analytics expert. I had to look that up just to be sure. Her name is Cynthia Frelund, and we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into sports. We're also going to ask her some get to know you questions as well. So, without any further ado, I introduce you the wonderful, talented, hardworking, and the beautiful Cynthia. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. You're very sweet. I'll send you your check for a nice introduction. My as an my agent fee, the agency fee is the checks in the mail. So thank you for that.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I ain't gonna turn down no free money now. I ain't gonna turn that down. That's for sure. I love that. And we're gonna have a good time tonight. We're gonna have a good time. I got a list of questions I'm gonna run through, okay? But my first question to
Got
you is the same as it always is with everybody that hops on this thing, and that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models or any inspirations growing up in Michigan? But ultimately, what is your why for getting into sports?
Well, I think the connection to me between people that happens with sports, be it my dad took me to football games, or maybe someone's mom, or their siblings, or their friends, or you get to be a part of something that's bigger than you. You get to be a part of a story that's unfolding, and there's within the course of football, 4 hours ish, there's heartbreak, there's happiness, there's oh my gosh, I'm so mad about this call. And then, there's every different emotion, and you get to do it with often the people you love, or maybe,
For sure.
people you don't even know, but you share this love for this thing. And at the end of the day, we all get a chance to, we go home and do our other stuff. But for 4 hours, I'm a Lions fan. So, we're Lions fans for 4 hours every Sunday, and we have the
Right.
same, we can you know complain about the same things, or we can be in awe of certain things together. And the connection is really what I think is so important. I think there's something so magical about that. And a team sport, obviously growing up playing team sports, but also you know now as an adult, we don't I don't know about you, but I'm not going to go play like even if you play like club or something, it's not like competitive, right? Like there's no
Yeah.
Super Bowl club team.
Yes.
But ultimately, it's you still get a chance to kind of get your competition in, and get it's just this, like, you have every dramatic story all in one, and you get to share it with people. And for me, it's people that I love. So I'm that's kind of where it all started, and I've always been very drawn to that as a player, and as a, obviously not football, but other sports player. And now as an analyst, it's cool to be a part of something that people just really, like, they have these memories from being a kid. And it's just all the goodness. Like, I used to want to be a doctor. I think what I thought doctors did was like heal people, make them better. And ultimately, what I think people in sports do, I think that's maybe a little bit more the more positive side. You make people feel better, you make their day better, you make them more connected. It's all kind of the same thing.
Absolutely. Uh-oh.
Oh, are we frozen?
Oh, okay. You're good now. You're good.
Okay, perfect. Yep.
Okay. Well, hold on. I got you at doctor, but after that, I was like, I lost you at whatever you said after that.
Yeah, so I grew up thinking I wanted to be a doctor, and because I thought it would just you just went around making people better and feel better and happier, and you'd, like, magic wand, you just fix everything. And I actually think, like, that kind of feeling is the same thing that I feel around sports, not healed from in a medicine way, but that feeling of, like, emotional, you know you feel better when when your team wins, you're very happy, but your
Absolutely.
your connection to your team makes you feel better.
Yeah, again, doing my background research on you, Cynthia, and that's a great first answer. As I do with every guest that comes on here, you played volleyball and soccer, if I'm not mistaken, in high school.
Yep.
Tell me, what kind of volleyball and soccer athlete were you at Okamus?
Um, well, Okemos is had very good women's sports while I was there. The volleyball team was incredible. Soccer wasn't quite as good. Volleyball was like it's like tops. In fact, when we were there, Dean Pease, who's a longtime NFL defensive coordinator, he was working for Nick Saban at Michigan State, and his wife was our volleyball coach, which is pretty cool. Huge connection
Wow.
to football even from when we were little. But yeah, no, I was a libero. I'm not very tall, and I don't have like the biggest ups in the world, but I have a lot of heart. So I'm good at digging. So I would, the defensive specialist was more my speed in that. And then in soccer, I again, the word is try hard. I'm not the most talented, but I would never quit. Right, center midfield is where I played. Sometimes we played striker, sometimes center mid. This in the way we ran our team was kind of they're one and the same. So I was a big time endurance, dig the ball, scrappy kind of
Hmm.
athlete. Maybe not like the most polished, and definitely not the combine would not have been nice to me, but I made up for it in effort.
I love that. And for those of you that don't know what a libero is, that's the different color jersey in volleyball. That's what Cynthia wore. That's what she was. She's mainly the
Yep.
person that gets the digs off the floor. My favorite position, actually, in volleyball. I love
It's
the libero.
me too. I mean, I think it's fun. Like you got to react. I always say like I would be my football personality would be like a really mean safety, because corners get all the glory, whatever. So I'd be a really mean safety. That's what I think the libero is. A really mean safety, last line of defense. That's like that's the I don't know. That's my personality, I guess.
I
I
love
don't know if
that.
that says it
Now,
all, but there you go.
I love that. That is awesome. Now, I got to ask this question before I go to the school choice, and that is I personally was 12 years old. Okay. I was 12 years old when Barry Sanders retired. As a lifelong fan of the Lions, take me back to that time frame when you heard the news that Barry was stepping away from the team. Like, what was your mindset? What was your thought process going being a Lions fan? I wasn't even a Lions fan, and I was hurt by that news for sure.
I was I was a little younger than you, but because I was like, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to understand what's going on. I was like, I don't because Barry Sanders was the lens through which I understood football, right? Like, running
Yeah,
backs were an easier, especially back then, were a much easier position to help you understand. Like, oh, he's going to run with the football. It's not you throw, but the run game was really what everything went through at that time, right? So I was like, well, who's gonna like is the team not going to work? And it's in fairness, it was the right question, just maybe not,
yeah,
maybe not
yes, it
the
was.
way that it was. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. No, no question. I had to ask that being a lifelong Lions fan. Obviously, the Lions have been doing pretty good lately. And, I'm going to get a chance to see them this season because they're coming to Buffalo. They're Buffalo's home opener this year. So, and I'm literally about an hour and 20 minutes away from Buffalo. So I will get a chance to go see them play. I think it's a Thursday night football game, if I'm not mistaken. So, yes. I don't know if you guys. I know Prime. I believe Amazon Prime does the Thursday night game. But yes, I will get a chance to see. We'll
Yeah.
be on opposite ends, Cynthia, but only for that week.
Well, listen, in fairness, I did preseason with the Bills for many years. I have a lot of love for the Buffalo Bills,
Oh,
but
oh,
because they're not in the same conference, many Lions fans also like the Bills because as much as upstate New York likes to pretend that it's New York, it's really the Midwest. And I stand by that. It's upstate New York is the same thing as I mean same great people like the same it's very similar. So there's a lot of Buffalo. It's actually not that far away. People forget you can go through Canada to like cut through. Obviously you know that, but nationally people don't know. It's actually quite close. Way closer than you'd think given the way the states look, but you can cut through Canada and get right there.
Absolutely, no question, no question. Now, a a woman like yourself, being from Michigan, right? Now you got Ann Arbor in your house, in your backfield. You got, Michigan State there. You got plenty of colleges there in Michigan. How the hell you end up in Boston College? Like, how did you end up
Math.
there at Boston College? Tell me, was that your first choice, or were there other schools that could have persuaded you from going to Boston College?
Well, I got a math scholarship, so
Wow.
the that was very persuasive. Yeah, I was about to go to Michigan. Would have been the other school that I would have chosen. I grew up so close to Michigan State, and academically, it's harder to get into Michigan. It's a very they're both incredible schools, but
Yeah.
Michigan was I got to Michigan, but then I got a math scholarship to BC, and I got into a couple of other places too. But the math scholarship really sealed the deal because I wanted to be in a big city, which is funny if you know where Boston College is because it's like not really in Boston, and it's not a
Yeah.
college. So
Yeah.
it's just not like so it's a wonderful place, but it's in Chestnut Hill and it's a university. So just a misnomer there. But yeah, I went to BC because I got a chance to. I could have never afforded it otherwise.
I love that. Now, how did you pick the major of biology? Now, you say you got a math scholarship, and then you had biology was what your undergrad was. Like, how did that coincide?
I thought I was going to be a doctor. I said I was going to be a doctor forever. My, you know, you say it when you're 10, it must be true. And so I thought, and then that's the pre med, like the best, like many pre med people are biology majors. It's a strong crossover, at least at BC they are. So I
For
thought I was
sure.
gonna. I mean, and I started to pursue medicine. It just wasn't the right choice for me after college. So then I quickly veered away from it.
I know. I love that. I love that you pivoted. There's a lot of people that hop on this podcast of mine. They go with one thing, they pivot to something else, which is absolutely amazing. No question about that. I actually wanted to be a math teacher prior to me being a sports
Oh, there you
journalist.
go.
Uh, yes, I definitely love math, but they told me to take calculus, Cynthia, and I said, hell no to that. I said, I cannot do that. No calculus for me. But I still sub teach to this day. I do have my master's in professional writing, so I do sub teach from K to 12 to kind of
That's great.
offset what I do as far as freelancing goes. But and I love elementary
That's
math.
awesome. Good for
So
you.
elementary math we can do all day long.
Whatever. No, that's great. It's important no matter what. You gotta. To me, math is just like everything else. If you have a really good teacher, especially when you're younger, it can really make a difference in how you're interested in it later.
No doubt about that. Love that. Now I'm going to ask you some favorite questions, Cynthia. You just give me the
Great.
411 off the rip based upon these. Okay, so here we go.
You got it.
Favorite meal you like to cook?
Oh, that I like to cook? Great
Yeah.
question. Um, Chicken piccata is probably my go-to.
Okay.
I
Now,
make a
now
good chicken
listen.
piccata.
I'm gonna tell you, I do have family in the Los Angeles area. I don't know how close you are to LA, but I do have family in California. Now, when I slide through, I bring some garlic bread. Now, if you want to ever cook that meat,
There you go.
I'm
You
just
can
saying.
come have my chicken piccata anytime. Yeah.
I am say less. I'm with you on that, Cynthia. I'm with you on that. I love it. Okay, I'm a huge carnivore person, so the stuff I like to whip up is steak, chicken. Steak, I like my steak medium rare. I used to like it well done, but
Okay,
now I like
good.
it medium rare. And now I'm a huge chicken person and a huge taco person as well. So those three I do pretty good.
Perfect. Perfect.
I love it. I love it. Okay, here we go. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
I saw Prince at the Joe Louis Arena, and
Oh,
I don't know if anything will ever top that. I did also see Pearl Jam at Wrigley Field, which was very cool as well. But Prince, just once in a lifetime, at the Joe Louis Arena too, which is like Detroit. That's where the Red Wings used to play. It
yeah.
was electric. It was incredible. Really, really good show.
Yeah, damn, ain't nothing gonna top that. I mean, Prince. I mean, outside of
No,
Michael Jackson, ain't nothing gonna top Prince for
yeah,
sure,
I
no
know.
question.
It was like crying. Like it was incredible. It was incredible.
Okay, well, what's your favorite Prince song? Now, obviously, the one that comes to my mind is "When Doves Cry." That's me. But what's your
Yeah.
favorite Prince song?
That's a really hard one because I mean, Raspberry Beret is like so fun. Um, Diamonds
That
and
is good.
Pearls makes me think of like reminds me of like, I remember I don't know why, like, remember when MTV used to play, music videos instead of all this other stuff,
Yes.
and
Yes.
for whatever reason that music video like really resonated with me.
Hmm.
So uh Little Red Corvette's good too. I don't know. It's really hard to pick a favorite, but maybe Diamonds and Pearls just sticks out to me as like the one that's just because of the music video.
I got you. You know, Controversy is also one that I also liked of his as well.
Great song. I mean,
As
really,
well.
the whole concert, you knew every word to every song. That's
That's
the
what's
thing.
up.
Like that was
I
what
like
was so
that.
cool because like it was not, there were no deep cuts. It was all stuff like, and there were deep cuts, but you'd even know that because his stuff's just so great. Anyways, it was incredible, and the
And
dancing, the showmanship, A plus.
even the Pearl Jam, like Pearl Jam is natives of Chicago, Illinois. Anybody that knows the band Pearl Jam, they're from Chicago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And that's where I was actually born. I was actually born in Chicago, Illinois. So my mother and father, they were born and raised there. And I was born in Cook County Hospital. So Chicago always
Okay.
has a very special place in my heart, especially Wrigley Field, because uh,
Yeah.
I'm a Padres fan because I grew up in San Diego, California. That's where I grew up. But my second team is the Cubs because of my dad. He's a Cubs fan for sure. So yeah.
Nice.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's really fun to go to sit on the rooftop and watch a Cubs game in Chicago in the summer. I know about maybe 5 people who have named their kid Addison because they enjoyed too many spirits at a Cubs
Right.
game, and that's the road, one of the roads that it's on, and so they
Yep.
therefore named their kid Addison. So there we go.
I love that. That's amazing. That's awesome. Okay, here we go. Favorite place,
Yep.
Cynthia, you like to travel to?
That's a really hard one because I think what I like is newness. I like to explore and see new places. So
Same. Yep.
the next place I want to go is Japan. But if I had to go back somewhere, I think I'm going back to the south of France. I was going to say Italy, but between Italy, south of France, I think. But I'd rather go new places. I think it's more fun to explore new places.
Definitely Japan is on my bucket list as far as places that I would like to go. But my favorite place to this date that I've ever traveled to is Greece. Greece
Greece is
is,
amazing too.
yes, Greece is, first of all, I like Greek food. I'm a huge Greek foodie, no question about that. And then I love just the different places in Greece. It was great weather. I had a chance to go there on a cruise, a family trip.
Fun.
Jamaica's a close second, but
Okay.
Greece would definitely top it for sure. I love Greece.
Yeah.
Um,
Greece is very special. Yeah.
we're sports people, so I'm going to ask you a two-part sports question. Okay, favorite sport
Okay.
you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be the same sport.
So I don't think it gets better than NFL football. So I'm going to put that aside, and because I really truly believe that, like I think the experience is, second to none. But I love college basketball. I don't, you know, I don't do a ton of analytics on it, which is great because I just think it's very pure. Tom Izzo grew up near him, so I've
Yeah,
liked watching the Spartans play basketball. I like watching Michigan too. It's weird, I get it, but I love watching college basketball, especially live. I think it's really really fun, and I love March Madness. So all of that is really great. So I would say college basketball. I love college football too. So college football, basketball. I mean, there's a few stadiums I haven't been to yet that I really want to get to in the college football world, and
yeah.
eventually I'll get there. But I really think it's. I mean, there's really no place better than the big house. Right around Thanksgiving when Ohio
You're right
State
about
comes to
that.
town, and like you're like, oh my God, this is gonna be a good one. So something like that is fun too.
So let me ask you, how happy was you when you saw that Michigan won the national championship in basketball?
I was thrilled. I mean, I can't believe it had been so long, because like it feels, they were in They're obviously playing. They lost like I don't know 10 years ago, what it was something 12 years ago, something like that. So it didn't
Yep,
feel like it was that long ago, but yeah, no, it was fun to watch. Obviously, it's weird to like multiple teams from the same state because usually Michigan people hate or Michigan State hates Michigan and they all hate
for
Ohio
sure.
State, whatever. But once you work in this industry long enough, like you start to have friends places, so it does change some of how like I even like Ohio State. I know it's crazy, but a lot of my friends work there, so I want them to keep their jobs.
This is
So
for
it was
sure,
cool to
for
watch
sure.
Michigan win. Yeah.
I feel that way there's only two teams I don't feel that way about. That's because Bama. I can't root for Bama to save my life. University of Alabama, I'm sorry. And I know people that do work at Bama, and I know I've had friends that went to the University of Alabama. God bless their heart. Thank you for graduating there. That's awesome. But like hell, I'm not gonna root for y'all team. I'm just not.
Right.
Anytime it's Auburn and y'all, it's War Eagle all day long. That's the one team for
That's
sure,
great.
Bama. The other one
That's okay
is
because it's not like they're one of the best. It's not like you're picking on some small. It's not like you're saying you hate Northwestern. Like
right,
that'd be weird.
right.
You know what I mean? Like what are you talking about
Yes,
here?
yes,
They've got plenty of
absolutely.
fans. They're going to be okay without you in Alabama.
Absolutely, no question about that. I love that though that you said college basketball and college football because those are two of my most favorite sports to look
Yes.
at, and also whenever I get an opportunity to cover it, that'd be great too. So I love that. Okay, last of the favorites. I'm a huge foodie, as I've already said here in this podcast. I want to know what is your favorite place to go out and eat at around there?
Okay, so if you're ever if you come out for a game in Southern California at SoFi Stadium, you have to get a breakfast burrito from a place called Barron's. It is gigantic. It's you don't need to worry about eating for a long time after that, but you have to order them like the night before because they run out. But they are so delicious, and they do a
Wow,
special one. They always have bacon chorizo or vegetarian, but they do a special one every weekend, like to honor whatever they feel like their chef feels like cooking. So if you go on there, like you have to go on their Instagram, you have to slide in their DMs. You have to order it the night before because if you wait till the day of, chances are you aren't getting it. But I brought in, they're so good. I brought in when you did the draft, day 3 of the draft. I made them open early, and I brought in 100 burritos for all of our staff that was working the draft at the NFL Network because it was like it's such a slog that third day. So I don't know if it made everyone tired, but I think it fueled them up. It's possible they got tired though, because that's a big burrito. But you got to have that the Barron's breakfast burrito.
okay, okay. Now two things. One, obviously, I'm definitely going to be coming out to Southern California again. I have family out there in Watts,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also from there. But also the Chargers. They're my favorite team. That's my favorite team. I grew up on LT, right, and I
There
grew
you
up
go.
on him.
He's
So
wonderful.
I
He's a
and I
wonderful
love.
person.
No question, right? So, and I hope to meet him someday. But yes, no question about it. I will be out there, and when I do, I would definitely hit you up, and we got to go get a burrito or something. Now, have you ever been to
Barron's burrito. Yep.
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles? Have you ever been there?
I have. It's great. It's far from where I live, so when you're in LA, you kind of stay in your neighborhood, but it's very good. It's just far,
No, I feel
so
that.
I'm like, oh,
I feel,
I gotta stay close.
I feel that. Now, I was also at the draft this year in Pittsburgh. I did not cover it. That one I did not cover. I actually do have my brother's family is in Pittsburgh, so we went to visit him, and it just happened to be at the same time as my nephew's 21st
Cool.
birthday. So he wanted to go out celebrate. So yeah, we kind of took him out, but we also went to the draft. I went to the draft. Um, I was there Friday and Saturday, so day 2 and day
Nice.
3. I went to the draft for sure. It had me a good time. I could have swore I saw you. I'm pretty certain I
You
did.
did. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I was
pretty,
there.
pretty,
I was there. Yeah. Yeah.
pretty certain I did.
Oh yeah.
But then again, I didn't want to call by the wrong name because sometimes you see people that look kind of similar, and then all of a sudden you call them by the wrong name. It's like, oh boy, that's not good. So I did not approach.
Well, nope. I was there. I love Pittsburgh was wonderful. They really That's the whole city. And the weather was, until the third day, was really, really great too.
Oh yeah, yeah, you ain't lying. That third day was barbecuing. I mean,
Yeah,
it was hot. No question about that,
it
for
was
sure.
definitely hot.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great job. I loved it. Let's talk about your day-to-day operations. As a
Okay.
journalist, as you know, especially as a freelancer, no 2 days are ever the same. But I've worked in publications and networks before, where you get stories to do every single day, but no story is ever the same. Either covering a different game, and games have all different kind of outcomes. Now, you obviously working at the NFL Network, every week is different. There's different matchups, there's different prop bets, there's different things and numbers that you have to crunch. But this is what you love. This is your wheelhouse. Talk to me about your day-to-day operations preparing to do those broadcast hits on NFL Network. Like what do you normally do to get yourself prepared? How long do you normally work in a day? And then when do you say, Cynthia, it's time to wrap it up, go home, and do something else?
Well, first off, I think your listeners need to know that we're in a 3 hour difference. I'm on the West Coast, you're on the East Coast, and you worked a full day today already, and we're taping this very late. So I'm very proud of you. And even last night, you were trying to, work till friggin' 1 a.m. and
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna let you do that, but I appreciate the hustle. In the season, actually, it's interesting because kind of throughout the season, even starting now, a lot of what I do, I wrote code before it was cool to have AI do it for you. So I'm old school. I get some help from AI now, but not with the coding. So I write my own models, and I take all of the data inputs from computer vision and next gen stats, etc., and I bring them together to basically evaluate the data. I ask the data questions. I evaluate what trends we're looking at, what tendencies are going on, and then like right now I'm looking forward already. I just finished going through like everything last year with people going on new teams. Like what do we see? Like what were the tendencies? Now we have new play callers in different places. So you go through and kind of do a inventory of what happened. You go through the past, and now we look forward into the future and what these teams this year could be like, could do, what we should expect from them. And every week I update that model. Like right now, it's a much bigger update just because it's from last season into full outlook for this season, and there's like 100 people on every team. So
Wow.
we don't know who's going to be the final 53-man roster right now, right?
Right.
So a lot of what it is figuring out. Right now, it's like, well, what should we look for in training camp? Because we don't see much in training camp that's very interesting, except for O line configurations. But apart from that, how should we be looking at this 1 through 53 once preseason games start, for who's going to be on rosters and therefore how they're going to perform? So stuff like that. So I do that constantly, off season or in season. Obviously, I do draft stuff too. So I have to look at college football, and so I get the models basically all ready to go,
Wow.
because the season is almost here. And then every week I update them with what happened, and then we look forward. So everything's done with what happened like Tuesday morning, and then everything spits out what should happen going forward for that week about Tuesday by, let's call it, noon, unless there's something weird that happens, and
Yeah.
then we play the week out. And so from the all of the numbers, then I kind of do my research on, well, why does it say that 12 personnel is going to be a big factor in this Rams game? Why does it? I'm making stuff up, right? But like, or why does it say that like, the most likely path for the Niners to win is by running outside zone? Like, I dig into the storylines that are interesting for each matchup or each team, and then I do my podcast and I do my hits on network, and it's kind of like, I have great producers who think of fun topics to, like, they know what they can ask of my models, and to be like, what is this corner versus wide receiver matchup? Who does it favor? That kind of thing, and we can look into it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a little bit of a, give and take in conversation about what could be interesting to talk about on TV. So, you know, run all the models, and then from the models, then create the content that cascades out of what the data says. So, what the interpretations are.
Wow. That sounds like a hell of a lot, Cynthia. Now, mind you, it might not be, to be honest with you, but at the same time, it definitely sounds like quite a bit that you do, working very hard. My bonus question is, How accelerated is that when you have a short week? So we have short weeks every single week where you can have a Thursday game. We're going to have a Wednesday. We had a Wednesday game last year for Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. We had Christmas games on Wednesday. How accelerated is that when it's not like a Sunday game and you have to get all those and crunch those numbers for multiple teams in shorter weeks?
The good news is the teams who play on Monday never play on Thursday in the same week, right? So the teams who are playing each other, their data is done much earlier. So I don't have to run it with all 32 teams. I can run all of the projections and what should happen with just four teams or just two teams, the two teams who are going to play. But obviously they have to, as soon as they complete their last game, then we do that. So luckily the league spaces out the number of days between when a team plays. So it can be a lot of different doing the same, running the models. But in fairness, I rerun them every time there's an injury or the injury report changes too.
Okay.
So it's easy to rerun them. It's just more the insights and going through. See, the difference is you could be lazy about it and just spit out the numbers and call it a day. But
Right.
what then I do is I call when I see something, I'll call a coach and I'll be like, "What was this? Explain this to me." So that
Okay.
the model then factors in what a human like as much as I can glean, because I don't
Yeah.
know what was called, right? I don't know where the safety was supposed to be. I don't know where the linebacker was supposed to be. So
Right.
I will run it, then I ask questions, refine it, then run it again, right? So it's a lot of work, but I think that's what like I feel fortunate to be in the role that I'm in. So I want to bring our audience like the most sophisticated numbers they can get, the most sophisticated analytics they can get, but I don't want to make them have to have my degrees in order to understand it. So sometimes that takes me like calling and asking and being like, but just like explain it to me like I'm four, like one more time, so that
Right.
everything makes sense. Because, like I said, I want it to be the most advanced, but I don't want to require people to have to be advanced in this specific, you know, in this domain to understand it.
Absolutely. I totally understand that. I really do. I had another bonus question that came up in my mind, and that's this one is about um, when you how long did it take for you, Cynthia, to develop this model, right? Because I know when you first started out doing this, if you can take me back to year one, if you even remember from NFL Network when you was doing this, did you come into the NFL Network saying, you know what, this is the model, I'm running it, and I'm comfortable, or was there some bumps in the road that you had to like get through?
There's always bumps.
Mm.
Anyone who tells you that something's a finished product, especially in a game that involves 22 people moving at one particular time, like I like question if that's possible. I never believe people I don't believe people who speak in maxims, right? Always 100% guaranteed, none of that stuff. Like, you have to acknowledge where your model has shortcomings. So I actually started creating this model when I worked in finance for the NFL like league office when I was working on how many games should be the optimal in my business, the business side of my career. How many games is the optimal for the NFL for a
Yeah.
season? That's when I started doing this. And then
Okay.
as the technologies, then that was 2008. That was a long time ago. And as the technologies advanced, I applied the framework of how I got some of the answers, which was working with the competition committee and understanding, because the goal is to have, you want enough games in a season where, as they're expanding, they want more, of course, expansion, because they're capitalists, right? We live in
Absolutely.
America, we're capitalists.
Yes.
So but you want the games to be competitive. You don't want bad inventory. You want your team to be able to make the playoffs longer. So how do you create more competitive games? We call inventory.
Right.
How do we keep the inventory like optimal? Well, a few of the ingredients that go into that are keeping your best players healthy, obviously. You
Yep.
know, having a fresh look at play calling. So we call this a copycat league. But what happens is people will copy, and then people will evolve, and then the offensive coordinator will try something new, and then the defensive will evolve, and that's good, right? So giving people tools so that they have better ways to evolve and adapt and create new attacks, and obviously parity is what keeps us even. The fact that the people who are drafting first were the teams that were finishing with the worst record, and the team that plays the fourth place schedule gets conceivably 3 easier games. So there's a number of things like that. So if we can add some math to that to supercharge the amount of data that you can get through where a human can glean insights, then you're theoretically creating a more competitive game. So I would say I started it back in 2008, and then I keep refining it. It's not the same today as it was 5 years ago. It won't be the same in 2 years as it is today, because number one, the technology keeps getting better and better. Just the available
Absolutely.
technologies for us to use are better and better. And number two, the game keeps evolving. So the rules change, the players change. I mean, even as recently as 8 years ago, more quarterbacks were in the profile of a Jared Goff or a Matthew Stafford than they were in the profile of a Patrick Mahomes or a Lamar Jackson. Now, it's
Right.
weird to not have a guy like, it's almost like, oh, he's only a pocket passer, right? So, as the game keeps evolving, you can't use the same model as you used. I think 8 years is about like right, because you want enough data, but you don't want it to be reflecting. It's a balance,
Oversaturated.
right? Right. You don't want it. Well, you don't want it to be reflecting principles that people no longer use. Like if we use that Barry Sanders footage to talk about the modern game, we would get it wrong because they were barely throwing the ball compared to now,
For sure.
right? So
Different time.
it's
Yep.
just a different, right. It's just evolved. So
I love that. No, I love that. And I can listen to you talk all day about that. I could. I really could. It's amazing. It is amazing. But it leads into a great segue of a question, and that is when you're dealing with numbers, obviously you're dealing with numbers, you're dealing with sports betting, you're talking a lot of props on NFL Network. And sometimes you may get trolls. A lot of people that come to you that say, "Oh man, you told me to such and such, and you said such and such, and you said minus this and minus that." And the reason
well,
why
I
I
don't
say
say
all that is
minus because I don't talk in those numbers, so I think it's bad TV. But we do talk about who's favored and who's not, and that's the minus is
right,
favored, the plus is
right,
the underdog.
right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I want to
Yep.
know about your mental health and work life balance, and mental health being a very important thing in this industry. There's a lot of people that have
Yes.
stepped aside as far as journalists go and sports people that I know of, and
Yep.
same thing with work life balance. How do you keep your mental
Yep.
health strong and still have that work life balance? Because you seem like a wonderful woman to be around. I certainly wouldn't mind being around you, and I think your friends and
That's
family
very
feel the
kind.
same way. But you seem very busy and very dedicated to your job, and like I said, you have pros. So how do you keep all that strong without getting burnt out or overwhelmed?
Well, I go to therapy every week on Wednesday, and Julie is a saint. I very
Okay.
much believe in like that's obviously like cognitive behavioral therapy, which is like talk therapy, the most common form of therapy. I believe in meditation, but here's the thing: my prescription for what works for me, like you have to find it for yourself. So some version of I need to work out. Sometimes I need to work out hard. Sometimes I need something softer. Sometimes I
Hmm.
need to meditate. Sometimes I need to like get with my girlfriends and just vent, right? So
For sure.
what I've learned especially through therapy is figuring out I've created these tools in my tool belt, and now I have to figure out when to use the tool to keep myself balanced, because my belief in life is that, like, I think I'm a vessel, right? And I want my vessel to be clean. So meaning like I don't want to come to any interaction with, like, it's not your fault if I'm worried about my dog having tooth surgery. It's not your, like, it's not, it's these things are not anyone else's responsibility. They're my things in my life. So what are the tools I can use to find creative solutions to my problem where I feel like my vessel's clean? And it's taken me a long time to, and a lot of therapy, to like understand what the balance points are for me, and I'm always happy to share them. But I think it's it's something you have to figure out for yourself. Maybe it's reading, maybe it's playing with your kids, maybe it's playing with Play-Doh. I don't know, but like find those things that make you feel balanced and like your vessel is clean, so you're not bringing something into an interaction that isn't part of that interaction, so you can be present. So I really work a lot. I spend a lot of time doing that and figuring that out and like refining it and figuring it out anyway. So but therapy for sure, huge help on that. Now work life balance, still working on that. I think that it's more about creating like space for the things that matter and communicating that space matters. So I think a lot of people get bogged down because they were told to say yes to everything. We're told to, say we can be everywhere to everything, right? But like if you need time to do nothing, like some people, like I need to have nothing on the schedule certain days. um I have been able to learn how to I used to do too much, right? Now I've been able to communicate, like, I'm happy to do that, here are the hours that work, and if it doesn't work, wish you the best. But like it's not about saying no, it's about being very honest about where you have space and when and where you don't, right? Like
Sure.
I it's hard, it's very hard. I'm a Midwesterner, I'm nice, like it sometimes gets me in trouble being nice, but like
For sure.
I don't want to be mean, like that's not in my DNA, and I do I think people should sometimes remember kindness isn't weakness. But so I've learned how to now put some boundaries around it, being like, I'd love to help you. Here's what I can do. But if you take
Okay.
that extra step and say, I'd love to help you. I'm self-aware. Here's what I can do. That makes you other aware by taking that extra step of saying, I'd love to help you. I have 2 hours X. So whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like I have this. You know.
No, I appreciate that. And going back to your prior point, listen, I would have stayed up for you regardless of what time. It does not matter. Now, I know you shut it down, and listen, that's
No,
totally
absolutely
fine.
not. You need to
I,
sleep. We need to talk about sleep, because sleep is like I've been very focused on sleep. I didn't used to be a good sleeper. Now
yep,
I am very focused on it, and I protect my sleep a lot more than I used to, and it has made a big difference, because then when I'm awake, I am far more present, and I'm not foggy, and I'm not like relying on a whole pot of coffee to function. So sleep
for
is
sure.
important.
It varies, and that's not to disregard what you're saying at all, Cynthia, at all. And I'm not a coffee drinker. I've never had a cup of coffee in my life, to be honest with you.
I don't know how you're alive. I truly don't know how you're alive.
So this is what I do in the mornings. Particularly, I either get water or maybe a cup of apple juice or a couple of grape juice. Now, I'm also a diabetic, so a lot of my stuff is zero sugar stuff like that. So I can definitely
Okay.
watch it. But I'm such a planner, if you can't tell, about how we got this podcast together. So I plan a lot of things out. So for me, my mindset is once I plan it and I know it's coming, I can't complain about the shit, for lack of a better term. I can't complain about it
Yeah.
because it's there. It's on the schedule. Like, when people
Right.
say, oh, my job is bad, I'm cool. And I'm going off on a tangent here, but I'm cool with you saying, that your job is bad and you dislike your job and stuff like that. I'm cool with the rant. But what I'm not cool is when you rant and you don't have any action behind it. There's no action behind the rant. There's just you
Yeah.
ranting. And then you just saying that you hate something without any kind of action or purpose
I
behind
think
it.
people like
Because,
to trauma bond though. My thing is that I sometimes think people don't know what to say, and in
mhm,
general, and so they default to complaining about things because there's some shared culture around, like, oh, my job sucks, blah blah. Like, I don't like that either. I think you should take initiative, and you should try to do, if you're working towards something that you love, you will
right,
inevitably end up in a better place. Maybe you don't end up in exactly where you want it to be, but you will end up in a better place. But
thousand
that's my
percent.
belief. I agree if you're really just complaining nonstop. But sometimes I think people just like to complain to, like, they don't know what to say to other people, so
Hmm.
they sit there and they complain, and because they don't have better tools for. I think people are bad communicators. That's what I think. People need to work on their communication a little more.
And that is definitely something that I definitely need to do. I definitely realize it because sometimes the way that I say things to certain people, because I'm so direct and transparent, that sometimes it rubs off on people as, well, I'm getting an attitude or I'm being very arrogant, and it's not my intention. But at the same time, I want to be honest with you. I want to be upfront with you. I want to listen to what you're saying because I feel like I'm a great listener because I want to be able to listen to people to be able to communicate well. And I think that is the
Yep.
important thing in any relationship, any friendship, relationship that you have. If you're not a great listener, I don't know how you can have a relationship sustain, in my opinion. So I
Yeah.
say that because a lot of what you just said, as far as your mental health goes, talking about therapy. Thank you for being transparent about that and opening up about that. And you also talked about work life balance, saying it is a struggle. Yes, it is definitely a struggle. I obviously don't have it down, and I don't think you'll ever have it 100% down in this industry because things change all the time, right? Games change, things change, teams change. You try to do the best that you can, and what I mean by changing, you also have things in your life, Cynthia. You right, doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, things just in life in general that you have at all different kinds of times. So I really do appreciate your transparency, but I also feel that I don't think 100% will ever get work life balance down, which leads into a great segue of this next question, which is advice. I know for certain there has been interns that have came to the NFL Network that have interned or have worked there. Obviously, you do an amazing job there. No question about that. Anybody would say that. That's including myself. I want to know what kind of advice would you give an individual that wants to do the same job that you do, that finds numbers incredible like you do, or just wants to even work at a big time network like the NFL network, what is some advice you would give that individual?
Well, I think the numbers part first. There are a lot of different ways to work in an analytics capacity or a numbers capacity at a sports organization and also adjacent industries like at an agency or at a something that where you're still in the sports world but you're not necessarily with a team or a league.
For
um,
sure.
you just have to keep looking. They're growing. It's a growing area, so it's not impossible to get these jobs. But the camera part is different than the numbers part. The numbers part over here, uh, it's really about right now in the life cycle of what's going on. Do you understand AI? Do you have competency to be able to communicate very well? Tr- Tricky findings because it's not easy. Like that's really the two things they're looking for. But those jobs do exist right now because it's growing and that's great. Rising tide lifts all ships. But
For sure.
the camera part or a major network, I don't have a lot of great thoughts on that. I lucked into the situation that I'm in. Paul DePodesta got hired by the Browns when I was at ESPN, which is why I went on TV in the first place. And what I would say is, you know, reps are everything. And for content, the barrier to entry for making content is very low. You can hold your camera up. You can just keep taking reps. So if you wanted to do it on camera, like anything on
Yeah.
camera, um, just do it. Like start and then see what happens and then be like, how can I make this better? What can I do? Watch yourself back and see. Actually think this is good advice for anyone to watch themselves back, give a presentation, etc. Because you watch and you see something about yourself like, oh, I never knew I did that. I need to stop doing that. You
Right.
get better by analyzing the film, just like a football player does, right? So to me, you can, even if you don't post your stuff necessarily, you can film yourself on your iPhone or on your whatever phone you have and watch yourself back and say, I that's how I wanted to sound, or I thought I was killing it and that ain't it. Like so I will say like the barrier to entry is so low. Now being in a major network, that's trickier, but I think no matter who you are in the content world, the more reps you take, the better you are, the more you'll understand what your niche and your specialty can be, and then just keep doing that, right? Like the more you take reps, the better you're going to get, especially if you take those reps seriously and you watch them back and you say, you know, I liked what I did here. I don't like what I did here. My words sounded strange here, or just be
Sure.
very honest with yourself. It's hard. It can be embarrassing, or it can make you feel you can get the ick from yourself. But like, it's better to do that. Watch the film, study on yourself.
So again, with the bonus questions, 'cause I keep coming up with them.
It's okay.
Have you always? Because when you were talking, you said some great stuff there, Cynthia. No question about that. And every answer you gave so far has been terrific. It really has. Tell me about. Have you always wanted to be on camera? Because it seems like you were very comfortable just being off camera. To be honest with you.
Yeah, no, it was not. I guess I can't say that I was against it because I wouldn't have done it had I
Yeah.
like, I didn't really. It didn't seem like it was something that was in my path. I was not a broadcaster by trade. I knew like my understanding of what you had to do to be a broadcaster was start in a small market, and then
Yep.
from that small market go to a little bigger market and get more traditional broadcast path. But when the opportunity arose for me, I jumped at it because
Okay.
I thought it would be fun because I didn't think it would last. Like I thought it would just be kind of fun and perhaps funny, but then I realized that it was pretty impactful and changed how I felt about it. But at first, I just thought it would be fun, like you don't say no to things, right? Like you say, in my opinion, you say yes, right? Like yeah, let's try something that it could be fun, right? So that was kind of how
Okay.
that worked.
Okay, I like that. I like that. You and Colleen, y'all are like Thelma and Louise on NFL Network. Y'all tear it up together for sure, no question.
She's also my
Y'all are good.
neighbor. Her dog got sprayed by a skunk yesterday, so
Oh
she
my
we are
gosh.
neighbors as well.
Okay, well, eventually I like to have her on here too, but that we can
Yeah,
save
she's
that
great.
conversation for sure. We have now came to the portion of my podcast where we're going to play my interactive game called This or That. It's a game
Okay.
that I like to play with all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, and it's very simple, Cynthia. I'm going to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So I'm going to ask you, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Here we go. Out of these two restaurants, which restaurant would you rather go in, sit down, and eat at? Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn Steakhouse?
Longhorn Steakhouse.
Okay. And how do you like your steak?
Well, I'm from Michigan, so I mean, if it's anything more than medium rare, then I think it's burnt.
Okay, say less. So that's my type of person. I love it. You like it the same way I do. I'm with you on that. Okay, let's rock. We are going good so far. When it comes to chicken wing, which flavor out of these two would you rather put on the chicken wing? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Barbecue.
Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Wet.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Do you like your wings
For sure.
bone right? Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Please, bone in.
So you like to get a little messy with it too.
Well, I just like them to be like real. Like they don't. It doesn't feel like a real wing if it doesn't have bone in it.
I feel you on that. I say the same thing. I'm a wet person. Barbecue, Sweet
Yep,
Baby Ray's could be that. It don't have to be Sweet Baby Ray's, but that's one barbecue sauce that you can put it on. I
it's a
like it.
good one.
Okay, so we are starting off really good. Let's see if we can continue this though. These next four questions have to do with music concerts you rather go to. If I say
Okay,
Cynthia, what kind of music do you listen to? Will you tell me a specific genre or would you say everything?
everything.
Okay, we're going to test that theory. So here we go.
Okay,
Out of these two artists, which artist would you rather go see in concert? Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick Lamar. I've already seen Drake, so I haven't seen Kendrick. So I
Okay,
I just
okay,
want to see everyone.
okay. Listen, K Dot is good. He's real good. You'll love him live, no question. Okay, here we go. Here's the next one. Which music concert out of these two artists would you rather go see? Would you rather see Beyonce or Rihanna?
Well, Beyonce because I've already seen Rihanna. But
Okay,
I would probably
okay,
say Rihanna. But I would say Rihanna if I hadn't seen her.
okay. I like that. All right, here we go. Which concert of these two artists would you rather go see, Usher or Chris Brown?
Usher, 100%.
I got you. I am actually going to that concert August 1st in Syracuse. I cannot wait to
Nice.
check that out. Yes, it's going to be a great concert. I'm a huge fan of R&B. That's my one right there.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, yeah. That's a
Last
good one.
one of the music concerts. This is in their prime. Okay, in their prime. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Janet Jackson or Whitney Houston?
Whitney Houston.
That is the one that we probably differ on, but that is very close for me. I'm a Rhythm
To
Nation
be
kind of
fair,
guy
you're
though.
choosing between 1A and 1B.
And one B.
But like
Yeah,
yeah, I mean that like both of them would be the answer, but I mean
for sure.
Whitney
For sure.
that anthem is the best national anthem, and it's not even close. Now Chris Stapleton did a good one. I know country, you're probably not a country fan, but he did a really good anthem too. But Whitney, no, she
No, no. I do
perfection.
love me some country music now.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
Chris Stapleton,
that
Florida Georgia
anthem was
line.
so good.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes. Yes. Yes, his anthem was good. Hold on. Have you listened to Marvin Gaye's anthem?
Marvin Gaye's anthem is awesome too.
Okay.
But Whitney's is the best. Whitney's is the best. Nobody's
Okay.
better than Whitney Houston.
Okay. I would say that's a 1A, 1B conversation because Whitney at the Super
I,
Bowl, Bills and
Whitney at the Super Bowl.
Giants, that was crazy. That was just
That
one of the
was
best, no question.
that is the best to me. There's no there like nothing tops that.
I was what? I think I was only four, I believe. I believe it was four,
But
3 or 4 years old.
you can go watch it on YouTube. That's the best part.
It is. That is very true. Yes, and it's a great anthem for sure. I
Because
like
somebody
that though.
asked me one time, "What's the best anthem?" I'm like, I don't really know. So I went back and watched all of them. I'm like, it's Whitney.
I
I
can
don't
tell you what
remember
the
it well.
worst one was, and that was Carl Lewis and Roseanne. Those two was the worst for sure.
Well, but Carl Lewis isn't like a singer. I mean, he had it's memorable. At least it was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. You're right. You're right about that. I like that. Okay, you got some good taste, girl. I like that. Here we go. Let's go to sports. Which sport of these two would you rather watch on TV? Basketball or baseball?
Basketball.
Okay. Which of these two sports would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Bowling.
Are you a good bowler?
No, but I but I think it's fun.
Okay. Do you need the bumpers?
No, no. Not that bad. But I'm not like
Okay.
scoring massive numbers, right?
I feel you. Listen, you'd be surprised on this platform how many people said they needed the bumpers. And I just told them, listen, that is okay and fine if you want to play Wii bowling in public. We just need to put you on a different lane because you can't be on the
That's
same
right.
lane as me. You just can't.
No, no. No.
That's for sure. Okay. Okay. Do you like desserts?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to name 4 categories of desserts, Cynthia. Your job is to choose one of these categories to get rid of that you would never eat
Get
again.
rid of.
So here we
Okay.
go. First category is cookies. The next category is candy. The third category is ice cream. The last category is grouped together pies/cakes. Which one are you getting rid of?
Candy.
Girl, you on point like a period. That's what I would say. You are on point. That's what I'm talking about. I would get rid of candy too, but I'm going to ask you this. What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
That's a hard one for me because my dad's best friend makes ice cream. So
Oh,
he
okay.
has made me like incredible flavors. Like I love a cookies and cream. That's probably if I'm going out to like a whatever. But my dad's best friend makes this coconut ice cream that is insane. So cookies and cream, coconut. I like both of them a lot.
Well, listen, you already was pretty damn near perfect to me, Cynthia, before coming on this podcast. Now you said my favorite flavor of ice cream. You really did. And I'll tell you a quick story before I get to the next question. The reason why it's my favorite ice cream is because my mother used to buy Neapolitan, which you know is the 3 flavors in one. I used to always eat the vanilla, but she always used to buy the Oreo cookies on the side. So what I would do is I would get 5 of those double stuffed Oreos as a kid, and I would crush them up in a bowl as I took all the vanilla ice cream and have cookies and cream.
Yum.
She said, "You're eating all of my Oreos. Would you stop doing that?" I said, "Well, Ma, you got to buy the cookies and cream because that's my ice cream." So she started buying cookies and cream and
Perfect.
stopped the Neapolitan. And I would not eat the chocolate or strawberry, so I won't eat the vanilla.
That's funny. That's funny.
So that's how it
Yeah,
became my
cookies and
favorite.
cream are great.
For
So
sure.
good.
I love it. Do you like potato chips?
Yeah, I do like potato chips. I like Zaps.
Okay, so okay. I don't know what they are, but we definitely will talk
You
about
gotta
that.
try
Here we
Zaps
go.
if you like them. They got a little kick to them.
Okay, got you. Now I'm gonna name four brands of potato chips. The same format. You gotta get rid of one of these brands. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
The first brand is Doritos. The next brand is Lay's. The third brand is Pringles. The last brand is Ruffles. Which one are you getting rid of?
Doritos. I know that's gonna be controversial, but Doritos.
Mm.
They gotta go.
Okay, I ain't mad at that. If you and I walked into a grocery store and I said, Cynthia, go to the chip aisle and buy your favorite chip to eat, what would be your favorite chip to buy?
Probably those Zaps. You gotta try the Zaps.
Zaps. Okay,
Yep.
okay. Is there a
Yep.
particular flavor that you like?
They're like a New Orleans peppery. It's like the whatever they're. It's like a barbecuey, peppery, spicy. It's great.
Do you
Those are
have
good.
them
Those
out
are good
there
chips.
in California?
You do,
Okay, so
but
please,
they're
when
from
I
New
do,
Orleans. Yep,
oh, okay, got you. Well,
but they're
I
from. They
will.
come from New Orleans. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next time that I'm out in either one of those, I believe I'll probably be in California first before I'm in New Orleans. You definitely got to put me on
They
some
might
Zaps.
have them near you too. You never know. Maybe just weird sandwich place has them. I don't know. Like a specialty sandwich place could have them. It's good though.
They
You'll
might.
like it. Yeah.
Okay. I have to see about upstate New York. I have to see that. I've never even heard of that brand though of Zaps. I've
It's
never heard of
good.
that.
It's
Okay.
good.
Okay. Got you. That was pretty good for this or that. You did very well. I
Thank
want
you.
to ask this next question, which is called bucket list. The reason why it's called bucket list is because I want you to speak it into fruition. And that is, give me a top four list of things that you would like to do in your career that you haven't done yet.
It's a great question. Um, okay. Uh, yeah, that's a great question. I want to do in-game analytics, but like on a major in a major way, like make it very cool so that we don't hear broadcasters say things like the analytics say anymore in the middle, or like, oh, the analytics say they should go for two.
Right.
Not usually. So I want to like make that very cool, and do something in while the game's going on. Um, I'd like to. I think I want to write a book eventually, but like an interesting book, not a, I don't know, not like a textbook, like an interesting book. Could
Okay.
be pretty cool. I would. This is a hard question for me because I think about stuff like this, but I don't know. Yeah, I think I want to like I don't know. I'm gonna give you those two, and then I'm gonna put the other two because it's a very thought provoking question. So I gotta think about the other two, but I'll give you
You're
those two
good.
for sure.
You and now
Yeah.
listen. I was going to say something like, I mean, obviously you've done the Super Bowl. You probably have done the Pro Bowl. Maybe there's a certain event that you would like to do outside of your sport.
The
Maybe a Final
Olympics would be
Four.
cool. The
Yeah,
Olympics would be
something
cool.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I think you could do something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
What about maybe emceeing someone doing a red carpet, not like a red carpet event, but like something like a red carpet where you're hosting. I can see
Yeah,
you doing it.
that would be awesome too. Yeah, I love staying in sports. I don't want to go into entertainment, but like SP's red carpet could be fun. Something like that. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I was thinking something along those lines. I think that you would have
Yeah.
great conversations. You're obviously a great conversationalist, and I think you'll have great questions. And obviously, you build great relationships with people. So I'm thinking that it's something that's interactive. So I'm thinking that something, and it's a little different than what you obviously do, but
Yeah.
you interact with the guys in the network in the studio pretty well. So I'm saying I think you would do that outside as well too. So that's pretty cool. Um, I want to ask you about numbers game media.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about that because that's something that you do on YouTube, and you post videos on that all the time. And I want to ask you the origins of that. And I want to ask you about how often do you normally do it, and what is it about?
So numbers game, basically, I think that given that I'm only on the network on certain days and doing certain things, there's a
Hmm.
whole bunch of. I wanted to serve every team with a few data points about their team to stay connected with each week. So, because we don't always get to every team on the NFL Network
For
every week,
sure.
so I wanted to
Yeah.
create that format so that we had a place for it. And actually, starting in August, we'll see some bigger things from Numbers Game. We're gonna up the frequency quite a bit,
Okay.
and it should be cool. So follow along on Numbers Game Media on YouTube, which is great. I would appreciate that, and feedback
Absolutely.
I would always appreciate as well.
Okay.
But there's every week you're gonna get the main value proposition is every week, no matter what team you're a fan of, you're gonna get at least a couple of like deeper statistical notes about your team and the strategy, and especially as it relates to the specific game they're playing or person they drafted, or whatever it is. So all 32 are completely served with at least some of the most interesting things, so that they get to know their team a little bit better from that numerical standpoint.
I like that. And you do have guests on there as well.
Yep.
I think I watched a couple episodes. Terry Fontenot was one of the guests that you had on there. That was one of the episodes that I watched for sure. And listen, I look
Yeah.
at you all the time. I do. I take what you say absolutely
Thanks.
seriously. Anytime I definitely go into my dad calls it the jungle, but anytime we go into the jungle and do something like that, I definitely take what you say seriously for sure, because obviously you've done a
Thank
lot
you.
of work, a lot of
Seriously.
research and stuff like that. So yes, definitely numbers game media have to talk about that. What we talked about advice, but what is some advice that someone has gave you, Cynthia, that you hold on dearly to?
Yeah, I mean the reps thing was a piece of advice that somebody gave me, but probably the one thing that I think about a lot is that if you're not like a little bit scared of taking like it's basically to evaluate your relationship with risk. So for me, if I don't feel a little bit like nervous and excited about what my next step is, then I probably haven't opened myself up to enough, right? So whatever your relationship with risk is, make sure that what you're doing satisfies that itch, right? Like some people don't like risk. That's totally different. But I like a
Sure.
little more risk, so I have to make sure I'm challenging myself and pushing myself in a way that satisfies that part of who I am.
Absolutely. I'm same mentality. I definitely like a little risk. I understand that heartbreak can come with that, but listen,
Yeah.
the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. And I just
I'd
have that
rather I'd
mindset.
rather
Let's do.
like right, I'm not gonna, get called out looking. I'm gonna take a swing.
Hello. I'm
That's
telling you. You have zero
yeah,
percent chance of contact with no swing. With no swing. 0%. So for sure.
right.
I love that. Um, Final thing I'm gonna have you do is rapid fire. It's a little different than this or that. Rapid fire is the first thing that comes to your
Okay.
mind. I want you to shout these things out with
Okay.
glee. Okay.
This could be
So here we
dangerous for
go.
me, but okay, go ahead.
It could be. Here we go. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Juice or soda?
Juice.
Chicken or ribs?
Ribs.
Favorite color?
Green.
That's my favorite color too, girl. Okay, good. Birthday.
August 24th.
Oh, it's coming up. I'm February 2nd. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. It's coming up. Okay,
Okay.
that's awesome. Uh, Favorite Netflix TV show or television series on TV?
That's a great question. I watch a lot of bad TV, I'm not gonna lie. I really like Shrinking was made me cry, so I'm gonna go with Shrinking because that feels less than some of the other crazy stuff that I watch.
I'm a Breaking Bad person. Don't know if you're
Oh,
Breaking
Breaking
Bad, but
Bad's
I'm
great. Yeah, yeah.
okay. Got you. Say less. That's my TV show right there. I love Walter White, no
Good.
question. Okay. Favorite board game?
Monopoly. Well,
I'm
does
a
chess
beast when
count? Because I love chess. Chess, but I don't play chess on the board very often. I play it online. But yeah, I love chess, but Monopoly's a great game.
I'm a beast when I get Boardwalk and Park Place, girl. You do not want to land on my
No.
hotel. I'm just trying to tell you. Okay, here we go. Favorite card game.
I guess I work for ESPN, like NFL Network got acquired by ESPN now. I really like to play poker with my husband, but not. We're not really supposed to gamble, but I don't gamble. It's just a game. I like bluffing. Just a game, you know.
Just a game, right? Poker's good. Poker's a good game, no
hmm
question. I'm a huge spades person. I like spades for sure. So
Well, I'm
okay, I
from
got
Michigan. I
you.
should have said euchre. Euchre is it's like spades, but yeah, euchre. Let's go with euchre. There we go. Euchre.
Euchre is a good game. That's a very good game.
Yep.
Okay, favorite alcoholic drink.
Tequila.
Are we talking 1800 Tito's? Like what kind of tequila are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a snob when it comes to I have a coworker whose wife tells me which one has the least sugar in it because they put fake sugar in it now, which is crazy. So only anything that's 100% agave, and I like a
Okay,
good reposado, and we're good with that.
okay, yeah, okay. So you like the good ish is what I'm
I
getting at.
do.
You like that good stuff. I'm with you on that. Favorite sandwich.
Chicken salad,
Chicken salad. Pretty
random.
good. Pretty good. Okay.
Yep.
If you had a choice to choose three people to go with you on vacation, so three plus one equaling you, which is total of four, who would you choose and where would you go? Now, Cynthia, before you choose, you could choose family, friends, or celebrities, or a combination of all three.
Well, I'm choosing I'm a girl's girl, so I like my best friend Katie, my best friend Stephanie. I guess. See, the hard one is then who's that third one because, um, I got a lot of, but those are my two like very very best friends, um, and then I think the third one, I should say my husband, but it's a girls trip. At least I've now planned out a girls trip. So,
Yeah.
let's see. Our third girl, we'll go with Tara, my who's my cousin and actually one of my best friends as well.
Okay. Now, where would you go?
You know, somewhere like the Maldives, like really far away. That's like a
Mm.
beach and like just no cell phone. Bali, Maldives, some place, Tahiti, like beachy, no cell. Just cool, relaxed area.
No disturbance. Nobody knows
Right.
you're left. Just nothing. I feel that. Okay, I like that. Now, if you had a choice to choose between three songs or three artists that you can listen to on repeat and never get tired of, what three artists or three songs would you choose?
Well, Prince for sure would be up there
Okay.
as we were discussing.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I probably would pick Pearl Jam because they have, like, it just reminds me of my youth so much. And it's a big catalog, so I could probably, like, there's a lot going on there. So Pearl Jam would probably be the second one, and then,
Okay.
gosh, the third one would be maybe Rihanna. Yeah, probably Rihanna.
Okay. That's a good mix. Good mix. A good
Yep.
mix of music. I like that. All three groups are very well. No question. I think I would have chose MJ. I definitely would have chose probably Jay Z. And I'm a huge
Jay Z's
Nirvana
a
fan.
good one too, but I feel like I needed a girl voice in there too, so that's why I went
I
with Rihanna.
feel it. I feel it. I feel that. Okay. Okay. Now, what is a sport, Cynthia, that you can play that you would absolutely dominate in?
I'm a very good endurance runner. I run a lot of marathons, and that's really all and by dominate you mean finish. So yes, I'm not but I've run 25 marathons, so I feel like that's a lot.
That's
So
damn good. Yes.
yeah,
That's a lot
that's it.
for sure.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean,
What is
do
the
you do
sport?
yoga, competitive yoga? Because I got you on competitive yoga.
You do. I saw that you used to teach Pilates. I don't know if you still do or
Yep,
not.
I do. Every once in a while, I do now too, but I think I get you in Pilates or yoga. That's it.
Oh boy. Oh boy, I've never done Pilates in my life.
There we go. Then that gives me an advantage. You'll probably still be better at me, but doesn't matter. I'll keep at it.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Tell me, what sport would you play that you would absolutely suck in? The first sport that comes to your mind.
Oh, football. My God. I would get killed. I would get totally killed. I'm not fast. I'm not strong. I mean, I'm strong, but pound for pound doesn't count. I'm not I couldn't be the kicker. I like no. I'd get killed playing football. Even
Okay,
flag at this
okay.
point. I mean,
Oh my gosh. Okay, I believe you. I totally believe you, Cynthia, for
maybe
sure.
flag I could handle, but no tackle. I just get killed. I'd get totally
Okay.
destroyed.
If there was one event that you would like to do in sports, what is that event that you would like to do? Whether it's to not be a broadcaster, but just like work the event and be a part of the
Oh,
event.
work the
What is
event.
yeah,
Um, I mean I really like I always love the 100-meter track and field. Like I think that it would be very cool to see that live, to watch people run that fast live.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. If there was a job outside of sports and outside of being a doctor, which you originally wanted to do, what job would you see yourself doing very good?
Oh, doing very well, or what would I want to do? I'd probably be very good at some sort of, you know, like an actuary, like people who use numbers to to evaluate risk. Probably something like I'd probably be good at that.
I, I think you would be damn
But
good
I'd
at that.
want to be an astronaut. If I could go back and do it again, I would be an astronaut.
Oh, wow. I did not see that one coming. I'm gonna be honest. I did not. Astronaut, like Neil Armstrong on the moon. Okay.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. That's
like
pretty
legit
cool.
astronaut. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Random.
Okay.
I know.
No, listen, that is, but hey, that is authentic and is you, and I love it. I love it, and I really have loved this conversation with you, Cynthia. I think this has been one of the most dopest podcast episodes I've done because number one, just learn about your why, learn about who you are, growing up in Michigan, but then going to Boston, and then going to Northwestern, getting your master's, and then coming to ESPN, and then now at NFL Network for a decade plus doing your thing and also doing the numbers game media on YouTube. I mean, you're doing so many different wonderful things there. It's no question that you're an asset to the company. It's no question you do what you're doing. People love what you're doing and you love what you're doing too. And I love seeing you do that. I've been wanting to talk to you for quite some time because like I said, I admire you and what you do. And I
You
really do
keep
appreciate you.
keep grinding. You're killing it. You're killing it. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, I really do. And also, I want to throw this out here too. I know I've read in my research that you are a cancer survivor, if I'm not mistaken. And I wanted to
Yes.
say
Good research.
congratulations to you on that.
Thank
I
you.
really do.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
my
Very kind.
final, my final question to you is there
Yeah.
anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, anything else at all before you and I conclude?
Anything that you can authentically connect with is meant for you. So, whatever you feel you're your most best authentic self, go in that direction and run hard. That's just be because people can see through it when you're not being your authentic true self. So, find the places where you can be really authentically who you are and the good things will happen.
I love it. I do. And again, Cynthia Freeland, I love having you on my podcast of Work Hard, Play Harder. I want you to have a wonderful Friday evening. And I cannot wait to greet you in person on Sunday morning. It will be an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you for having me and get some sleep. You need to go to bed. It's late.
I certainly will. Captain. No question. You take care. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too. Bye.